Alright, so right here we're looking, look for the largest perfect square. That is a factor, so 48. We think about factors of 48. You can do 24 and 2. There's not a perfect square in there, so we got 16 and 3. And we notice that 16 times 3, 16 is a large perfect square. Now we know the square root of 16 is 4. So factor using the perfect squares as one of the factors. Alright, so the square root of 16 is 4. So you pull out that 4. And the reason that it's 4 is because the 4 times 4 is 16. If you have two values inside square root, you may pull one out. Now, you still look right here, take the square root of the perfect square as a factor, so you notice we're pulling out the square root, and that gets rid of that 16 because the square root of 16, that could also be written as the square root of 16 times the square root of 3. Square root of 16 is 4, which gives me 4 on the square root of 3. So my final answer with my prime number left inside. So write the square root as a factor in front and the radical, and leave the other factor under the radical. If there is another factor in front of the radical, we're going to multiply the square root by it. So if you notice right here, 5 times the square root of 18. Alright, so right here we're going to say 18, so we'll look at 18 right here. We'll go, that's 9 times 2 makes 18. Well, 9 is a perfect square. Square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. So that gives me 5 times 3 on the square root of 2, which gives me 15 on the square root of 2. Alright. Okay. So we're going to try these. I'm going to do a few of these with you. So we got the square root of 12. Factors of 12. 6 and 2. Alright. Other factors of 12 we know are 4 and 3. Notice 4 is a perfect square, so we need to use the one with a perfect square. 4 times 3. Alright. Square root of 4. Square root of 3. The square root of 4 is 2 on the square root of 3. Alright. 2 on the square root of 75. We know that. Alright, so on the next one we look at it, we have a number outside, so we automatically know we're going to multiply. So let's look at factors of 75. Alright, well, that's an easy one. 25 times 3, because we know it's quarters. We know 25 is a perfect square and 3 is a prime number. Square root of 25 is 5. So we have a 2 on the outside, so we know it's going to be 5 times 2 and on the square root of 3. 5 times 2, 10 on the square root of 3. Square root of 72. The square root of 72. Alright, now let's, a bunch of different factors of 72. We have, let's go down here and do it so we can see a little bit better. Square root of 72. Now 9 times 8 is 72. We know that 24 times 3. We know that 36 times 2. Now 36 times 2 is my largest perfect square. So I've got square root of 36 times square root of 2. Square root of 36 is 6. So my solution will be 6 on the square root of 2. Now we could have used 9 and 8. 9 and 8. 9 is a perfect square. So, if we look right there, we got the square root of 9 times 8. Square root of 9 is 3. And then 8 would be 4 times 2. Notice that 4 is also a perfect square. So, square root of 4 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6 on the square root of 2. Same answer, two different methods. Try the last three.